Hi, Violet. Oh, Kelly. Hi, everyone. I'm so happy that you're all here. Wonderful. I'm very, very excited to be here with all of you today. We're going to dive on in. So if you need a notepad or a little pen and you want to take some notes along the way, you can. You will receive the recording. So that's going to be great. And I'm going to double record to my computer. We want to make sure we got double the recording so we don't lose it. I'm Giulia, so happy to be here with all of you today. This is going to be a really active class. It's not going to be a webinar. We're going to learn a lot and hopefully we're going to change some lives today. So let's dive on in. Okay, so exciting times. This is the Binge Breakthrough Masterclass, which I have created for all of you. And this is going to be a nervous system method to support you to end binge eating, naturally release weight if that's one of your goals, and most importantly, feel at home in your body and at peace with food without having to do any of that toxic diet culture crap anymore, because we are over it. So as we arrive here together, I'll encourage you to just really make sure that you're comfortable. One of the things that our nervous system really needs is safety in order to listen and absorb. So if you need to move your body around because you rushed in from whatever you were doing and you're feeling a bit hectic, just take a second to really arrive. And we'll take a nice clearing breath together. So I'm going to encourage you to make a nice audible sound. So we're going to inhale through the nose. And on your exhale, open your mouth and let something go from the day. Just let it go. We'll do one more so we can really arrive here together. And let your shoulders drop away from your ears. Beautiful. We are ready, Freddy. So, in case we didn't know already, I'm Giulia. I'm a body confidence and food freedom coach, and I like to say I'm your biggest cheerleader and hype girl because what I care most about in the world, well, one of the things I care most about in the world, there's money, is supporting each of you to live a life of freedom from all of this. I know firsthand how hard it is to struggle with food in your body, and I'm so excited to support women all around the world to finally break free and live the lives that they deserve. I'd love for you to just drop in the chat. There are a lot of you here, so I'd love to know what your name is, where you're calling in from, where you're tuning in from in the world, and maybe you want to share like what had you show up today. That would be great as we're getting to know one another. I'm sure there's those of you tuning in from all different parts of the world, so that's always exciting for me to learn about. Hello, where are we from? And I'm just gonna make sure. Yeah, perfect. Where are we from? What do we want to get out of today? Maria, tuning in from London. See, I knew we have all kinds of cool people here. Sweden, hello. Hi, Sophie. Nele, I hope I'm saying your name correctly, from Hamburg. That's so cool. Another England, Isabel from France. Calgary, Alberta, my homeland. I love it. BC, Violet Rose, she knows. Joanne from Guatemala. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. Okay, welcome. This is so cool. Look how amazing all of you are. Kelly from Kentucky, Denmark. Oh my gosh. My family is from Denmark. That's what my last name is. Cool. Love it. So my goal here today is to support you to have your dream relationship with your body and food and to live your life to the fullest without dieting, which is pretty cool, I must say. And today I'm going to walk you through specifically why nothing has worked. Oh, we'll just make sure that people are muted actually before I move on. Yeah. So we will start with a few things here. So I'm going to walk you through why nothing has worked until now. We're going to talk through the 3 keys to transform these struggles for good. I'm going to teach you how to stop binge eating and how to heal without dieting and to support you with what to do next to feel confident and free in your body. So we've got a lot to cover today. I'm going to do my best to keep it in an hour, but I like to give you a lot because I'm all about empowerment. So if we go over by 5 minutes, that's just my disclaimer. I'll try to keep it on time, but if I have more to share with you, I'm still going to be here because I really care about all of you. And I'll stay on to answer questions at the end too. So just so you know. Okay, what is your biggest struggle with food? So I want you to tell me in the chat, what is your biggest struggle with food right now? probably what brought you here, to be honest. So yeah, let me know. What is your biggest struggle? And we'll see how we can conquer it today. And while you're doing that, I am going to keep sharing because we got lots to cover. But please do type in the chat what your biggest struggle is. Overeating. Okay, got it. Fighting cravings and overeating, and eating mindlessly, eating when I'm not even hungry, hating my body, overeating, emotionally eating, food noise, hating my body. Yeah. My goodness, the food noise, you wouldn't believe how much I hear about the food noise every single day. And what are you missing out on in your life because of these struggles with your body and food? So I'm imagining a lot of you here are for your relationship to food, but I know what happens. This spills over into body, it spills over into life. So what do you feel you're missing out on because of how much you're struggling with this? Isolation in all areas of life shrink. Going out to eat definitely affects how I show up in relationships, confidence to go after my dreams, becoming a woman I'm meant to be, a normal relationship with food and myself. Yeah, oh my gosh. I just know that so well. Presence and inner peace. Yeah, absolutely. My goodness, I know that so well. And thank you for sharing. So, most of you have probably heard my story before, but I want to share a little bit about this with you. And I want you to just type in the chat as we go along, like if any of this relates to you, because I know what it's like to try and overcome this and to work with people, therapists, and different practitioners who have never been through this before and they actually don't understand what it's like. And I've lived through this firsthand. So I'll try to make this short because I want to focus more on you. But just want you to understand that I have struggled with my body and relationship to food since I was 11 or younger. And I have always struggled with obsessing over losing weight, restricting food. I hated my body no matter what I looked like. I've struggled with over exercising. I even became a fitness instructor at one point because I thought that would be great. I can exercise all day and restrict what I eat, and it'll be great. I'll love my body. And guess what? I didn't love my body. I hated my body. The irony was, no matter how much I tried to control food, exercise, make it my life's mission to have the perfect body, none of that worked. And I just hated myself more. And I binge ate uncontrollably no matter what I did. And the really frustrating thing was, I was a very dedicated woman on this healing journey. I went to therapy, I went to counselors, I went to psychotherapists, I was on medication for a brief point. I literally tried everything, nutritionists, personal trainers, and nothing worked. No matter what I did, I couldn't break free of these struggles with overeating. I couldn't break free of these struggles with my weight or my body image. And it actually felt like the more I tried, the worse it got. And at one point, my body just continued to gain weight, and I felt so inflamed. And that made me even more depressed. And it was a very, very dark time in my life. And I kind of reached this rock bottom of like, I can't do this anymore. I can't do this anymore. So there has to be another solution. Does anyone relate to that so far? Like, do you feel like any of what I just said is similar to your own journey? I'd love to hear in the chat as I continue. Thank you for raising your hand, Kelly. I love that. Yes. Okay, great. Absolutely. So here's why I was stuck. And I want to highlight this for all of you. This isn't your fault. Remember that we are completely bombarded with conditioning from society, diet culture, patriarchy, capitalism. All these systems are funded on making sure that we don't feel enough and that we consistently believe we have to restrict food, we have to overexercise, we have to control to have the body that we want. And that's part of the biggest problem. And I kept thinking that the next diet or the next plan or the next supplement would save me, but it never did. And my body wasn't failing me, it was actually protecting me. And I'm going to talk to you about that a little bit more. So I know already a lot of you are saying, yes, you relate to this for sure. So I'm going to continue and share with you how I actually fixed this. Because this was a 20-something year-long struggle that, as I said, I had been so dedicated in overcoming. It's not like I sat back in my chair and was like, this is great, I'll keep it going. It was fundamentally destroying my life, but I had tried everything. So I kind of hit this rock bottom of throwing my hands in the air, and I actually got down on my knees and prayed and said, dear God, universe, whoever's out there, I need you to help me because I've tried everything and I am at a complete loss and my life is literally slipping from my fingers. So how I fixed it, number one, in short, is I learned how to become a rebel, and I'll explain what that means. So I really started to do the inside work. I started to heal my nervous system, the beliefs that were controlling my life, all of this emotional stress and internalized shame. This has nothing to do with the food, let me be honest. It has very little to do with food, your body, or your weight, and everything to do with what's happening inside. 90% of all these struggles are happening below your conscious awareness. Because most of you know, I don't want to binge eat anymore. I don't want to overeat anymore. I don't want to hate my body anymore. I don't want to struggle with my weight anymore. But why do I wake up every day feeling like a crazy person that this is still my struggle? Because 90% of this is below your conscious awareness. So I learned how to really reprogram these beliefs, regulate my nervous system, heal all this stress. And the result of that was pretty freaking amazing. So not only did I make peace with food, it's been 8 years since I've ever had a binge. I teach women all around the world how to overcome this. I was able to regulate my hormones and a lot of other issues that I was struggling with, like anxiety, leaky gut, PCOS, thyroid issues. They're all connected. And I learned how to have peace with my body. No more over exercising, no more stressing out about losing weight. I just learned how to build a really peaceful relationship with food, my body. And guess what? Then every area of my life changed too. And so, it's pretty cool because from that place, when you reclaim all of the energy that you are stuffing into these struggles, guess what you get to put it into? Whatever you want. Love, relationships, your dreams, your career. So that's why I have a career. I quit my corporate job and I built a thriving business helping women all around the world to heal this. I started traveling the world. My finances blossomed. I married the love of my life. I live with so much gratitude and joy and presence. Like I'm not going out to eat with friends and worrying about what's on the menu. I just live my life. And this is what I'm so excited to teach you today because this is what life is about. And I don't want to see any of you struggle with this anymore because it's just not worth it. I really mean that. I don't want to see you reach another birthday where you're like, I'm still struggling with this. It's just not worth your time. So let's talk about how we're going to transform this for you. And most importantly, like I can say with confidence, I wouldn't have met my partner or I wouldn't have any of the things I have today if I continued to let these struggles eat away my life, because that's what they do. There is this myth that you can't have the body that you want without restriction, and that's one of the biggest problems here. And I'm here to really bust that for you. This isn't about, I don't want to focus too much on appearances or body, but I have to just educate you on this. This is not true. The photo on the left is me dieting, restricting, binge eating, and making it my life's mission to obsess over food, calories, how much I exercise. The photo on the left is me exercising 7 days a week, at least 90 minutes a day, if not 2 hours. And the photo of me on the right is no dieting, no restriction, no binge eating, no controlling food, no rules of any kind with food, exercising 4 days a week of 60 minutes or less. So that's a very clear picture of what happens when you learn how to take care of your body and you stop letting these things control you. And that's just not just me. These are my clients. Erica shared, I hated my body since childhood. I had such low self-esteem and critical thoughts. Food controlled her. I binged and purged and tried everything, and it felt like I'll never escape this prison. And in the past 6 months since working with me, I've stopped binge eating and restrictive dieting, lost weight without trying, quit my job, moved across the country, and found love in my life. And she was able to support her body to lose like 15 pounds of weight and inflammation from simply learning how to love herself and regulate her nervous system in my program. So that's hopefully pretty exciting for you. And yeah, just saying, I feel like I've been given a new life because this is what happens when we break free of these issues. It feels like we are living a new life. And Lenore is another client that I hope inspires you because she said, I battled restriction, yo-yo dieting, body image issues since childhood. I was using food and alcohol to cope, and my relationship with exercise was guilt-driven. I used it as punishment. And in working together, I broke free of the binge and purge cycle. I fell in love with plant-based cooking and the science of nutrition. She's completely changed her career path, and she's applying to become a clinical dietitian because she wants to help other women to heal too. And she's just saying working with me was one of the most profound experiences she's ever had and changed her life. And this is so exciting. When you reclaim these issues, it's not just about food and it's not just about your body. You then get the courage to actually figure out what matters to you in life and go after it, which is just so fantastic. So anyways, that's just some inspiration for you because I know that you're not alone. And I know a lot of you also have this story. I'm never going to break free. I'm the one that this isn't going to work for. And everybody thinks that because you've all tried so many things, much like me. And that's not the truth. You just haven't been given the right tools yet. And that's what I'm here to do today. So I'm not going to go through the million more client stories there are, but I want you to just know like you're not alone and this is absolutely possible for you. You're not broken. You've just been addressing the symptoms of these issues, not the root cause. And today I'm going to show you the real path to healing. So we're going to go through the 3 keys to your transformation together. Number 1 is your nervous system. So I want you to tell me in the chat as we go through this, how many of these signs do you see in yourself? Because this might be pretty awakening. So your body isn't the problem, your survival system is, aka your nervous system. And this is the deep root of these issues. So what we have to understand is that when we are in a state of chronic stress, that creates cortisol spikes in the body. So when your brain thinks you're in danger, like when we fear food or we hate the way our body looks, it triggers a survival stress response in our nervous system. So that not only triggers us to overeat, but it also triggers us to experience other health issues like high blood pressure, insulin resistance, emotional and binge eating. There's so many things that happen when our nervous system is stuck in this survival state, which I can guarantee probably 99% of you on this call are experiencing. Number 2, when our nervous system is dysregulated, you can't access calm decision making. So this is why we feel like we are out of control with food. We feel like we're binging, we're overeating mindlessly. We feel totally out of control with food, even though consciously you're like, I don't want to do this. So why am I doing it? It feels like we have been hijacked. Symptom 2 is most common for me. Yeah, thank you for sharing. Yes, I want to go surfing with Lenore too. Number 3, we experience things like a slowed metabolism and hormone chaos. So a lot of you who struggle with binging or overeating are not just struggling with food, you're struggling with anxiety, you're struggling with your sleep, you're struggling with your mental health, your body image, your cycles. A lot of people I work with experience a loss of their period. They have symptoms like PCOS, thyroid issues. It all gets connected because when your nervous system is dysregulated, everything else is too. Other symptoms that we see are inflammation and insulin resistance. So this chronic state of stress in our body triggers systemic inflammation. That causes things like insulin resistance, where it makes it hard for us to lose weight, hard to balance blood sugar, and as I already mentioned, things like PCOS and even HPA amenorrhea, which means that you lose your period, even though you may feel like I'm eating enough and I'm doing all the right things, but your body is telling you otherwise. Number 5 is gut dysfunction. So your digestion only works when you're in a regulated state. So a lot of people who struggle with binge eating, overeating, body image issues, weight problems, they also have a lot of bloating, constipation. Their digestion isn't working, so they're not absorbing nutrients properly. They'll often have things like SIBO, leaky gut, and nutrient malabsorption. And then you're running to a hormone specialist to try and get them to treat your SIBO, but that's a symptom. We haven't actually fixed the real root problem, which is why these symptoms keep repeating themselves. And then finally, low body image and self-sabotage. When your nervous system is dysregulated, your inner critic gets louder and very loud. So you feel bombarded with food noise, with that inner critic that can't shut up about your body image, constantly telling you you're not enough. You feel like you're living in a prison of negativity. You feel unsafe in your body, and this spirals and keeps going and going. So how many of you are relating to some of these symptoms that I'm describing about your nervous system? And I'm going to keep sharing with you a little bit more about this science lesson here. At least 4. Yeah, there you go. I'm sure there's a lot more too. So this is a little graph to represent the nervous system and how it works. And I'll go over it with you quickly here. So a healthy nervous system should go through each one of these stages, the green, red, and blue, but always come back to feeling safe. Because when we're safe, this is what happens in the body. We digest food, we have a strong sense of mental health, our hormones are functioning properly, we are not binging, we're not overeating, we're not feeling out of control with food, we are feeling at peace with food. It's a normal relationship with food, and we have a normal relationship with our body image. But most of us are struggling with nervous system dysfunction, which means that we are living life trapped in the sympathetic branch of the nervous system, or in the dorsal branch of the nervous system, the freeze response. And so when that happens, when you're stuck in sympathetic, for example, you are struggling with things like high cortisol levels, you're struggling with anxiety, you can't sleep. This is where people are prone to blood clotting. This is where we experience that we are struggling with weight that we can't lose, all those symptoms that we talked about earlier, this incessant anxiety about our body and food. And the problem is, once we've been sitting in the sympathetic branch for too long, our body goes into what's called the emergency shutdown state, and we go into freeze response. And once we're in freeze, that is where we see a lot of chronic illnesses come on. This is where we see an intersection of chronic illnesses, insulin resistance, hormone dysregulation, fertility issues, sleep issues, loss of period, all these different types of things. So it's not your fault. I'm just here to help you understand that once the nervous system has gone there, this isn't about food and body anymore. This is about understanding how to help your nervous system to come back to safety, because when your body feels safe internally, we don't struggle with any of these issues. So hopefully that's a little bit illuminating for you. And this little picture here just helps you to understand that anything below the green is where our body image, our weight, our food, our hormone and life struggle zone is. So as soon as we start hitting the red or the blue zone, that's where all these struggles live. So our goal is to understand how to bring our body back into a place where it feels safe in this green zone, otherwise known as the ventral vagal branch of the nervous system. So I hope that that's making sense. Let me know if this is making sense to you in the chat, or if this is brand new information perhaps for some of you. 6 out of 6 on the symptom list. Yes. Okay, great. Relating to all the categories. All of them makes a lot of sense. Okay, good. I'm glad. Makes a lot of sense. I think that they should teach us this in school, honestly, because the nervous system is your control center. It's the nervous system is the CEO of your life, in case you didn't know. So that's why we need to really understand how to work with it instead of against it. And this is just another quick little picture to show you, as I said, in a regulated nervous system, we see this nice little curve. Oops, sorry, I'm drawing the dysregulated one. This orange one here, where things are coming in and out, and we're staying in this nice coherent pattern. And in a dysregulated nervous system, you're seeing this really jagged curve where we're getting stuck. So we feel stressed, and instead of coming back into regulation, we're getting stuck in the sympathetic branch of hyperarousal, or we get stuck in the freeze response. And that's where chaos occurs in the body. Real bad things happen in the body there. And in fact, 90% of our hospital visits in today's time are not caused by, they're caused by psychological stress. So this is exactly what we're talking about here. Alrighty, Rue. So yeah, just some evidence for you with clients that I've worked with. That, your teaching on the nervous system changed my life forever. Nothing worked for me before this. I'm forever changed. I've done every diet, every supplement, every program. And what finally worked was nervous system healing and safety. Learning about the nervous system regulation and mind mastery was the missing piece. I tried everything: therapy, Prozac, functional medicine, and other online programs and groups, Overeaters Anonymous, ED programs, and I'm binge free now for 35 years. So I hope that's some validation for you that this is what we need to be working on. And if you don't heal the root, which is your nervous system, there is no diet, no plan, no supplement, no protocol that is going to create lasting change, because you cannot supplement your way out of nervous system dysregulation or emotional dysregulation. It just doesn't happen, point blank. So number 2, our beliefs. Yeah, I'm sure it is new information, actually, because again, no one really teaches us this. So I'm really glad. Health class definitely needs an update, 100%. Number 2 is our beliefs. So I think you can probably all guess that your beliefs play a large part in this, okay? They don't just shape what we believe about ourselves and our body and food. It doesn't just shape our mindset, it actually shapes our biology. So in this moment, I want you to think about some of the beliefs that you hold about food or your body that are keeping you stuck. And we're going to revisit them later. But just type some in the chat that are keeping you stuck, because then I'm going to be able to support you with them. So when we have these inflammatory beliefs, and y'all know what they are for yourselves, but some of the most common ones are like, my body is broken, nothing is going to work for me, I have to lose weight to feel confident in my body, no one will love me looking like this. We could go on and on and on about the beliefs that we play on repeat. those beliefs trigger an inflammatory response in your nervous system. So your nervous system can't really tell the difference between a physical threat of a bear running at you and an emotional threat response. So you are attacking yourself with these thoughts, which again is not your fault, but this is what happens. So when we're constantly looping about these inflammatory thoughts in the body, we trigger that survival response in the nervous system. It causes the cortisol spikes and metabolic shutdown. We start emotional eating, binge eating. We feel completely bombarded by food noise. It causes the hormone chaos, cravings, burnout. And this is what keeps us obsessing, spiraling, living in chaos. And these thoughts that we have learned way back when have become our brain's default operating system. And they are wired in so deeply that they run the show without you even realizing it. So 90% of you, 95% of you is that default system. So beliefs are not just mindset, they're actually metabolic. And if we don't rewire these beliefs driving your stress, your biology will keep proving them true through weight resistance, binge cycles, feeling out of control with food, and burnout. This is what leads to burnout. I'm going to share a quick little study with you, which is pretty wild. So Andrew Huberman talks about this on one of his podcasts, and you can research this study yourself. So there was a Harvard study done by Dr. Alicia Crum. This is a peer-reviewed study where they took two groups of hotel housekeepers. Group A was told that their daily work, what they were doing, counted as exercise and received belief reinforcement, meaning like what you're doing is great. It's contributing to your daily energy expenditure. They received specific training that helped them to believe that what they were doing was very healthy and contributed to their well-being. Group B was told nothing. And after 4 weeks in this study, with no actual changes to these people's exercise or diet or behavior, so they just continued on as usual, Group A that received that belief reinforcement lost weight. They reduced their body fat by 10%. They had lower blood pressure, improved BMI, and there were other markers as well that were very positive to signify their overall health markers. And Group B showed no significant changes. So what does that tell you about the power of beliefs? What we believe about our bodies and our behaviors becomes our biological reality. It's so crazy. There's another study which is called the milkshake study, which is very similar. They gave two groups the same exact milkshake, but they told one group that this milkshake was rich and very filling and very dense, and the other they told them this milkshake is like a healthy milkshake with da 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 in it. You can look that up too. I just was like, I'm not going to include so much information for you. And even though the two groups drank the same milkshake, their body digested it completely differently based on what they were told was inside the milkshake. The group that drank what they believed was like a dense, very rich milkshake, like a true ice cream milkshake, were full for like 4 hours, and their insulin activity was completely different than the group who thought it was a very, very like a smoothie basically with nothing in it. Their insulin also was completely different in absorbing that milkshake. So even though the contents were the same, their brain changed how they digested it based on their beliefs about it, which is so freaking wild. So again, what we believe about our bodies and our behavior becomes our biological reality. And thank you for sharing these beliefs in the chat too. Makes sense. I have to be skinny to feel confident. Yeah, I've tried everything. I must be broken. This is so common, which is such a shame-based thought that keeps us stuck. I'll be better liked when I look skinnier. I need to be slim to be successful and enjoy life. Yeah, absolutely. You got it. Okay, so number 3 is compassion, which most of you probably don't realize because no one, again, teaches us this. This is inspired by the work of Dr. Kristen Neff. Okay, so self-compassion isn't fluffy. This is one of the most powerful nervous system regulators we have, and it's actually essential for breaking these cycles. Underline, highlight, circle, essential. Why? Because it reduces cortisol and stress, it increases our motivation and resilience, it regulates our nervous system, it brings us out of a stress response into a regulated state. And when you meet yourself with compassion, your body finally feels safe. And only from safety can your body finally let go of binge eating, overeating, weight, and burnout. Self-criticism and judgment is one of the biggest things that keeps us trapped. So I think you and I both know this cycle very well. And I want to highlight these photos too, because these are some of my clients that I've worked with. This is Lenore, the surfing gal from earlier. The photo on the left was when she started this work, and the photo on the right is one that she sent to me after doing this work together. And I want you to like look at what you can see in this woman. Like the level of compassion and love that I can see she has for herself is vastly different. And this is very, very important, because if we don't have, and this is Erica too, you can see on the left is like her before, just like tears in her eyes, feeling dark and depressed. And this is a very sunny, glowy, happy person on the right. And this compassion is something that is so essential for us, because as you can see on this graph, look where compassion sits on the nervous system chart, in the ventral vagal regulated branch and at the top of the human emotional vibrational scale. This is a very coherent, safe state to be in. And most of us instead live down here in shame, usually, okay, trapped, shut down, anxiety, self-blame, hopeless, regret. We live most of the time in this very dark state of our nervous system and our way of life. And what I want you to also get is that that's not your fault, because what do you learn in society? Do you learn to be compassionate towards yourself? No. You learn that it's acceptable to be compassionate towards others, but you don't learn that you need to be compassionate towards yourself. Usually the way we approach our problems with food and body are, you're an idiot. You did this again. I can't believe that you did this, even though you told yourself you weren't going to do this. We criticize ourselves into thinking that that's going to lead to positive change. Anybody relate to that? Let me know. Let me know in the chat if you do relate to that. Who criticizes themselves after they do the binge eating or the overeating, thinking that that's going to make some sort of positive change? Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And what happens when we get into that self-critical place? Well, we trigger the stress response all over again, which is the exact energy that feeds more of our overeating and binge eating cycle. And we go round and round and round and round. So I say this with love and kindness because, again, nobody teaches you how to be compassionate towards yourself. We learn how to be compassionate towards others, but not to ourselves. And this is the only ingredient that's going to effectively break this cycle, because the shame and the self-criticism is the fuel that feeds the binging, the overeating, the emotional eating, the restriction, the overexercising, the whole shebang that we do together. And Hannah is one of these beautiful women that I've had the pleasure of working with, who was sharing, like, I don't remember a time when I wasn't struggling with my body. I was binging, restricting, overexercising, and I still hated myself. I joined programs, did ED outpatient, Overeaters Anonymous, sugar addiction therapy, and nothing worked. I turned down so many experiences because I was afraid to eat. It felt like my brain and body were disconnected. I was eating and couldn't stop, and I didn't know why, and I pigeonholed myself into a life that felt so small, all because of food in my body. Now I don't binge anymore. I finally feel safe in my body. I'm not addicted. I'm free. I have so much more flexibility in my day, and I can eat what I want without spiraling. I look in the mirror and actually feel beautiful. I use the tools from this program every day, and I couldn't be more grateful. I feel peace, I feel ease, and I never thought I would. I'm so grateful I recovered, and if I can do this, you can too. And I think that's really the biggest take-home message. If Hannah can do it, so can you. If I can do it, so can you. This is entirely possible for you. So let's practice. We've learned, and it's time to integrate, because the thing is, you don't need more information. You need to actually understand how to embody safety. So let's practice what that actually feels like in your body using EFT, because you're not broken. You're just in a nervous system pattern that's ready to shift. And we're going to tap into that compassion together. Because I got to teach you. I know how hard it is to be compassionate towards oneself. All right, so I'm going to ask you some questions, and that's going to inform our exercise together. So we're going to go back to this question about beliefs. And I first want to acknowledge that given the way our society is, it is extremely challenging for us to hold a healthy perception around food, around weight, around our body image, around all of it. So that's just a fact. That's to help you reduce the shame. All these systems were created to profit off of your unworthiness and your never enoughness. No one makes money off of you loving and accepting yourself and being compassionate with yourself, which is ironically the only thing that you need to get out of this mess and to be free of this. So I'll say that again. Nobody makes money off of you loving and accepting yourself and having compassion for yourself. And that is the only ingredient that you need to break free of this. All these companies, the weight loss industry, diet culture, capitalism, the patriarchy, they don't want you to love and accept yourself, because then you gain the energy to actually stand up to all this crap, and they want you to stay small and to stay suffering and to keep being stuck in this mess. So this is not your fault that you've been trained to have these issues. It's designed for a reason, and we're here to do something pretty revolutionary, which is to break free of this and to stand up against it. So I want you to think about what you have been conditioned to believe about food and really tap into those beliefs that are keeping you stuck. So let's clear the plate. Write down in the chat, what beliefs do you think are keeping you stuck around your relationship to food? And they are conditioned, by the way. You didn't invent these yourself. So you came into this through that conditioning. And that might be new information or reminded information for you. Yeah, good, aka, yeah, so there's good, clean, good eating and bad foods. There's only healthy foods equal salads. Yeah. There's good and bad food, and I'm just eating wrong. Yep. Totally. What other things have you been conditioned to believe around food? You must be in a calorie deficit to lose weight and restrict. Yeah, except when that doesn't work, right? How do we make sense of that? I'm doing all the things and it doesn't work. So I must be broken, right? That's what we learn. If I don't control food, I will lose control. Anything that tastes good makes you fat and gain weight. Yeah, what else have we learned to believe? And what else are you believing that you know is keeping you stuck? That consciously you're aware this isn't working. Like, me believing this is clearly not working very well. Because we are going to work on it together, which I'm excited about. What else have we got? It's good if you stay a little hungry. Oh, woof. Yeah. Not eating red meat means we're going to be iron deficient and unhealthy. Yeah, there's so many beliefs that we have. And like, I'm curious what the most ridiculous ones are too that you believe. You need to eat small portions. Yeah, absolutely. And I want to ask you too, how does believing these beliefs make you feel? So when you believe I'm not worthy as I am, I have to lose weight, I'm supposed to stay hungry, I'm supposed to eat small portions, if I eat anything that tastes good, I'm going to gain weight, I'm a horrible person if I gain weight. Like, how does all this make you feel? Helpless, defeated, calorie deficit to lose weight, actually starvation disguised. Yeah, absolutely. Like, listening to my body is wrong, never good enough, constant pursuit of satisfaction that never ends. Oh, yes, so much, right? Grains and sugars are bad. I feel very uncomfortable battling against myself. Yeah. So isn't it interesting that believing these beliefs, if we go back to this cycle, this drawing I showed you, a lot of you shared it makes you feel hopeless, like despair, overwhelmed. Right here, helpless, shut down, trapped, depressed. This is where it puts you. So isn't that interesting that these beliefs that you have been brainwashed to believe intentionally put you into this nervous system shutdown state where you can't really take any healthy action for yourself, and your nervous system is so stressed it's in a state of collapse? I find that very interesting. There's a purpose why they want you to think like that, because again, then you feel trapped and you can't do anything healthy for yourself or have a loving relationship with yourself. you don't have the energy to put towards standing up for yourself or doing things that really matter to you because you're so busy and entrenched in these issues. So what we're going to do together is I'm going to invite you to tap with me, and we're going to do an exercise to facilitate, yes, exactly, feeling angry in a never-ending cycle of for what and who. And something must be wrong with me. It's not, and I'm excited that we're going to break through that. So I also want you to tune in right now and rate on a scale of 1 to 10. How possible does it feel for you to overcome these struggles that you have with food, your body? 10 meaning absolutely possible. I believe I can. 0, 1 meaning not going to happen, not at all. And just let me know in the chat. Okay, 0, 1, 0, 1. Yeah, okay. So good to be aware of that, because we're going to check back in on those numbers in a few minutes. 3 to 4, 2. Okay. Thank you for sharing. So all I'm going to ask of you in this moment is that you tap along with me, repeat after me, and let's make some magic happen. So I'm going to stop sharing this so you can see my face. And all you're going to do is tap where I tap on my body, mirror me, and then just repeat these words aloud. And I'm just going to pull up what your words actually are so we can make sure to include those. Oh boy. A lot of powerful things were said here. Okay. Okay, so tapping and repeating aloud after me. Even though I was conditioned to believe all of these unhealthy stories about food, like there are good foods and bad foods. And if I eat those bad foods, I'm a terrible person. I'm learning that this is conditioning and it's not my fault. Even though systems like patriarchy, capitalism, diet culture, the weight loss industry, they all want me to suffer and believe this brainwashing because that's how I profit these industries. Oh, that's not okay. And I'm learning how to take my power back around all of this. Even though I was conditioned to believe a lot of lies about food, like there are good food and bad food. If I don't control my food, I'm a bad person. I'll gain weight. And according to them, my whole life's purpose is reduced to being in a calorie deficit and trying to lose weight. I'm learning how to have more compassion for myself, given that this is not my fault. Society makes it extremely challenging for anyone to have a healthy relationship with food. Okay, we're going to tap through the points, so stay with me and repeat after me as we shift these points. I was conditioned to believe you must be in a calorie deficit to lose weight. You must restrict. There's good food and bad food. If I don't control food, I will lose control. Anything that tastes good makes you fat. If you don't eat red meat, you're going to be iron deficient. It's good to stay a little hungry. You need to eat small portions. All of this brainwashing goes on and on and on. And it makes me feel defeated, helpless, never good enough. This constant pursuit of satisfaction that never ends. It makes me battle against myself. And it makes me feel like something is wrong with me. But guess what? There's nothing wrong with me. Those systems are broken, and they're designed to make me feel this way. Because as long as I'm struggling with these issues and feeling unworthy, I don't have the capacity to focus on what's really important. And that's exactly what they want. And it's not okay that they do this. And maybe for the first time, I'm learning this isn't my fault. I'm learning to acknowledge how hard this has been for me. How much energy this has stolen from me. How much of my precious life this has stolen from me. And I'm ready to make a change. I'm ready to be more compassionate with myself. I'm ready to learn how to heal this for good. Because I deserve that. I'm learning how I can take my power back around all of this. Okay, so let's take a nice, easy breath. Just let that marinate through your body, your thoughts, all the little cells in your body. And just invite in a little gentle orientation, which means just allow your body to gently shift, look around the room that you're in. Maybe you want to look out the window and just notice, how are you feeling in this moment after we did that? What are you feeling, thinking? I would love to hear your thoughts. You want to share in the chat. What are you feeling, thinking now after we acknowledged all of that? Beautiful. It's possible. Tell me more. What feels possible? What other thoughts are coming up for you? Lots of yawning, and I feel a release in my neck area. Very cool. Some of you may notice, yeah, yawning, energy shifting for sure. Healing is possible. I love it. My body feels a little warm. I feel very still, calm. I was getting flashbacks of all the times I went through difficult times with food at a young age. Yeah, beautiful. I am perfect as I am. I love that. Yawning and tired, more peaceful and comforting. I feel both sadness and pride. Sadness at what has been robbed, and proud that I can keep going knowing I am worthy of the life I desire. Absolutely, you are. I never acknowledge any of this out loud. Beautiful. And how does it feel to acknowledge this out loud? How does it feel to acknowledge that there's a broken system that is keeping you stuck in this intentionally, and that you don't have to do this anymore? I'm guessing that a lot of you didn't really realize that this isn't your fault, because guess what we do really well? Blame and shame ourselves. I must be broken. This is my fault. I don't try hard enough. Yada, yada, yada. Yeah, so how does it feel to acknowledge, this isn't your fault. This is part of our global conditioning, our societal conditioning that wants us to stay stuck in this. Like someone finally pulled the veil off of everything. It really wasn't my fault. It's not. I feel like I've been strung along unconsciously. Yeah, totally. Absolutely. Beautifully said. So I want you to come along the journey of tapping this in with me, because we want to really solidify and empower more of these thoughts. Okay, so let's dial up even more compassion and even more empowerment. Okay, so tapping with me, repeating after me. Even though I'm learning that this is not my fault, and I feel like I've been strung along unconsciously to all of society's brainwashing, I'm realizing it's not my fault. And today I've chosen to wake up. I'm choosing to take my power back around all of this. And even though society will continue to try and do this to me, I don't have to let them. I'm awake now, and I'm choosing to reclaim my life. And let's tap through the points together. It's possible for me to heal. I'm feeling much more calm and comforted. I'm feeling more peaceful. Feeling compassion for what they've robbed of me. And proud that I can keep going, knowing I'm worthy of the life I desire. I've never acknowledged any of this out loud. And it's like someone finally pulled the veil off. It really wasn't my fault. Healing is possible. I'm the kind of person who's committed to my healing and living the life that I deserve. They're not going to steal my joy or my peace anymore. Beautiful. So take a nice, easy breath. Letting that go. And I'll invite you to put one fist on your heart center, right or left, doesn't matter. Okay, so one fist on your heart center, and your other hand is going to come over top of that fist. And I want you to feel this fierce compassion for yourself, this fire within you. You are so powerful. You are the kind of person who is committed to her healing and taking her life back. I really want you to connect that fire within you. I can do this. Beautiful. I'm so proud of you. I would love for you to share in the chat how you're feeling now. What are you feeling now? Feeling and thinking. I'm so glad. Calm and relaxed. Beautiful. Fantastic. Peaceful. Like I settled into my body. Yes. Wonderful. Grateful and inspired. Yes. I love it. And what is feeling a little bit, even a little bit possible for you from this place? So from this place of feeling more grateful and inspired or softened, calm, what are you starting to see is becoming possible for you? Even if it's like a glimmer, like the door crack is open. Change is possible. Yeah, change is possible. I can move forward empowered. Yes. I love it. What is feeling possible for you? That made me tear up as I don't give myself enough compassion, but now I feel like I can break free. Beautiful. A little emotional. I caught a glimpse of my higher self hugging my current self, and I feel I can become that person. Oh, that is so wonderful. I love that. Positive self-talk. Yes, all yes. I'm so inspired by all of you, and please do keep the thoughts coming. An empowered, loving relationship with my body and food. Yes. So incredible. So I know we're at 11 o'clock, so I'm going to continue on for those of you that can stay, because I got some next steps for you, and I will be here answering questions that any of you have. So if you can stay with us, please do. And if you can't, you can always watch the recording. So I'm going to carry on with us and keep sharing and caring, because we've got more to learn. So we are sharing together. Yeah, if you have any more thoughts on what you're believing to be true or possible now, I always love to hear that. And write it down if you have a book or a journal, because that's incredibly important for your nervous system and for your brain to start shifting those belief systems. Very, very important. And I'm curious, those of you who showed up here today, like, I want you to just let me know if this is true for any of you. You know, maybe you signed up today because nothing has worked for you. You've convinced yourself this is my problem. You're so sick and tired of this. You wanted to stop binge and emotional eating, but you didn't know how. You struggle with critical thoughts about your body. You're done with being consumed by this and your life being consumed by this, or maybe none, no matter how hard you tried, nothing has ever really worked for you. So is that resonating with some or most of you, 1 through 6? Mm-hmm. Number 3 and 5, especially. Yeah, beautiful. Awesome. So I would love to hear an affirmation. We always like to say, claim this. If you are really wanting to be free of this, you want to have your dream relationship with your body without dieting, you want to feel confident and unstoppable in your own skin, you want freedom from negative thoughts about your body, you want to have total peace and ease with food in your body, and you want to finally go after your dreams and stop being held back by this. Claim that. If that's what you really want, let me know in the chat, like, yes, I want this. I know Violet Rose does. What about for all of you? How are we feeling? Yes, Sarah does too. Okay, 2 of us. Jenny, 3. Angela, 4. Kelly, 5, 6. Yes, it's time. Okay, 100%. Okay, now we're talking. Now we're alive and well. We've woken up. We're claiming it. Okay, fantastic. I'm so excited. So I think by now we've talked about the solution. We've gone through a really full hour together in depth, and I would love for you to take a moment to just close your eyes right now. Okay, so just close your eyes if possible, if you feel safe doing that. If not, have a soft gaze somewhere out in the room. And I want you to start by just acknowledging yourself. I showed up here today. I'm the kind of person who's taking my power back around this. And I want you to notice what's shifted for you even a little bit from creating that safety in your body. This was an hour, and I want you to imagine what could shift if you had real support, not just one-off support, not a one-time masterclass. What if someone was holding your hand through this journey and really supporting you through a proven method to help you overcome this once and for all? What would it feel like to never have to go through this alone anymore, never have to diet again, never have to struggle with this ever again, and to have the tools to reclaim your life? Truly, what would that feel like to you? And maybe you can share in the chat if you got a feeling from that. And I'm going to share with you, exactly how I can support you with all of this. So I think it's no surprise. This is what I help women with all around the world. And this is exactly what I specialize in. So I don't want you to do this alone. It doesn't work doing this alone. And I also know that most of you have gone the route of conventional therapy and still feel like this doesn't work. So we've gotten a taste for what is required to really break free of this today. And I just want to share openly with you, if you're someone that is committed to taking her life back and you refuse to struggle with this anymore and you really want to prioritize this healing in your life, then that's how I can support you. Okay? I'm not here to sell you anything. I'm here to just have an open conversation with you and let you know that if you want help, let's hop on a call and talk about how I can help you. Okay? And from there, you can decide if working together is the right fit or not. And that's completely free. So if that's of interest for you and you want to learn more about the exact program that I've helped thousands of women to move through successfully and finally have freedom with food in their body and never have to struggle with this again, then we can have a loving conversation about this. And I'll show you exactly how we can do that together and talk about exactly why you've been stuck. So pretty simple. And I will put the link in the chat if you're interested in having that phone call together. It's about 60 minutes, and we're just going to have a super honest, open conversation about you, what you're struggling with, what your goals are, and really create a blueprint for you to break free of this once and for all. So I'll pop that in the chat, and I want to share just Elizabeth's story with you as well. So Elizabeth was sharing, I started my first diet in 5th grade. I struggled with this for over 20 years. I was in cognitive behavioral therapy since I was 16, and every decision I made was about how I was going to stay thin or eat clean. I couldn't eat like a normal person. I had to restrict. I had to exercise more than everyone else. I was binge eating to cope. I'd restrict all day, then lose control at night. And now Elizabeth is binge free. It's gone. She eats whatever. She says, I eat whatever I want when I want. I don't stress about it at all. I have a healthy relationship with food. I'm dating, dancing, exploring new cities, eating out, and feeling massive joy every day. I'm living a life of gratitude, fun, joy, expansion, and trust. No more hiding. This program changed everything, not just food in my body, but how I live the rest of my life. So there's a million stories just like this. My whole website and YouTube channel is a shrine of all the amazing women that I've had the true gift of working with. I mean it when I say, like, this is the best part of my life, is helping women with this. So if you're someone who is like them and not wanting to do this anymore, then like I said, it's very simple. I'm just going to send you a link to book your one-on-one call with me, and it's free. So you literally have nothing to lose. If I don't think we'd be a good fit to work together, or you're not in a place where you're ready for this, that's it. It's okay. We just end the call. There's no like strings attached. So I'm just going to pop it in the chat for you so you can go ahead and book your call. And then I'm going to stay to answer questions if anybody has questions. And before we dive into questions too, my goodness, I've got so much to say. It's like, oh my gosh, I've got so much to say and I'm saying so much at once. One moment, let's do one thing at a time so I don't forget. Bear with me. I'm trying to get this to you. And then I want to answer your questions. So let's see if this is working. Yes. Okay. There's the link in the chat to book the call. You can open that in your website, in your website. Love the yes train happening all aboard. Yeah. Beep, beep. Everyone's on it. So before I answer questions, let's take a moment. And once again, I want you to tune into yourself. Let me just go here because I want you to have a nice, peaceful screen. So I want you to come back, put your hands on your heart or wherever you feel comfortable. All we need often is 20 seconds of physical touch to activate that self-compassion. So let's choose something on our bodies to activate that self-compassion. And I want you to think of the hour that you just spent here, cultivating this increased self-compassion and peace and empowerment within yourself. That is pretty freaking cool that you showed up for yourself to do this. Like, I really applaud you. I'm very proud of you. A lot of people would just stay in a place of suffering around this and doing nothing. So I'm very proud of you. And I want you to think of, what is one word to represent how you're feeling now at the end of this hour and 9 minutes that you dedicated to yourself? What is a word to represent how you're feeling now? And when you're ready, I would love to hear it in the chat. Or you can scream it aloud in your room. Hope. Yes, I love that. Beautiful. I'm feeling hope. How about the rest of you? I second that. Beautiful. Seen, supported and encouraged, grateful, understood. Yes, I love it. Hopeful. Hopeful. So many hopefuls. Oh my gosh. So let's come back here. Look what we did to our beautiful little nervous systems. Those of you who have responded, find yourself on this chart. Where are you now? Understood, grateful, seen, supported. I can find you. I want you to find yourselves. Where did you end up on this chart? The green zone, the safe, regulated place of our nervous system. So this is the exact ingredient we need to create healing. We need more and more of this. And that is the magical answer to it all. So thank you so much for all of your love and participation. I am so proud of you, and I'm so grateful to have spent this time with you. And I want to just open it up for a few minutes to any questions you might have. So you can type or raise your hand, and then we'll go from there, and then I'll let you go. Thank you so much. I'm so grateful to each of you. Let me see you. Oh, I got a thumbs up. My little computer wanted to give you a thumbs up. So cute. Thank you so much. I'm so grateful that you all came, and I will send you the replay if you want to watch it again. And you're so welcome. Yeah, I'm so appreciative of your presence and the gift of each of you, because community is everything. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Take on this empowerment, because you got this. And we are so much stronger together. So remember, you're not in this alone. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Oh, thank you. I love red, in case that wasn't clear as day in my life. And thank you for the compliment on the glasses. They're fun. They make me happy. Okay, I don't feel like we have any questions coming up, but I'll just do a double checky in case we do. Sheila, hello. So glad you're here. Oh my gosh, that's so funny, the glasses. Too funny. I love it. All right, angels. You know where to find me if you have questions that come up after this. I'm on Instagram, I'm on TikTok, I'm on YouTube. A lot of you didn't know that I actually have a YouTube channel with longer form content, so even deeper expressions of what we talk about on TikTok or Instagram. So that's just my name, youtube.com/my name, Giulia Halkier. You can Google it and find lots of stuff there too. So I'm sending you a big hug and lots of love. And yes, I do reply to Instagram DMs. I try my best to be timely with them. I do get so many, but I do. So yes. And if you have a question, let your sister know and I'll be there for you. And you can email me too. So you can find that as well. I'll see you again soon. Thank you again. I could stay here forever and be with you all. But for now, I'll let you go. Have a great day. Know that you're amazing and you got this. Bye. Thank you.